We have carried out the exploration that was assigned to us, and we have been able to observe up close without being seen, thanks to our supersonic curtains, the entire surface of the planet Earth, and the changes that take place in it. Changes that, we believe, are due to its greater or lesser distance from the central star of its system, from which it receives light and heat. After repeated observations and tests, we have come to the conclusion that plant and animal life exists on the planet Earth, and there is a great variety of beings that we have studied in detail. The most influential species appears to be a group of smooth-skinned bipeds that live in colonies with a rigid organization. Said beings inhabit tall ant-hill-like structures, generally rectangular in shape, with individual cells for each subgroup, or, in some cases, for each individual. These cells are all approximately the same size and appear covered in shells of various colors, which all follow a general pattern that changes with the seasons. Afterward, they enter surface capsules with 4 wheels that gather in organized rows along carefully drawn channels. They advance slowly for long periods in opposite directions, a behavior whose reason we have not been able to determine. These machines produce large traces of smoke and fumes that, based on our calculations, vary in frequency and quantity. This smoke appears to fill the atmosphere, which they must constantly breathe to survive. From what we have studied, the noises they produce also seem to be a form of communication, intended to maintain contact with the group while each individual is inside their capsule. At the end of the day, the process reverses, and the capsules return to the anthills from which they departed. Once inside, as we have been able to observe through the windows, they settle in front of small screens that is present in every cell, showing shadows and lights, controlled by the press of a button. It is possible that this is their way of feeding themselves, which is why they cannot go without it. We have studied with special interest how they govern their colonies. The selection of the colony leader is a long and complicated process that takes much time. For a long season in each colony, all life in the colony seems to focus on this single event, as if the colony's future depends entirely on it. This contrasts with the fact that as soon as the colony has a new leader, no one seems to care anymore, and the widespread belief is that the leader doesn't matter in the grand scheme. We cannot explain the energy they invest in what seems to be routine administration. Another strange phenomenon we have observed with frequent regularity is the gathering of large groups of bipeds in enormous amphitheaters. There, they observe a confined area where others perform rapid and erratic movements difficult to explain around an object, usually spherical and of varying sizes. This event is met with great excitement despite its strange ritual. Perhaps it is somehow related to the species' life cycle, but we have not been able to confirm this hypothesis. The most inexplicable aspect of everything we have observed is the fact that we have repeatedly confirmed to our utmost bewilderment that these so-called bipeds attack one another without any apparent reason or motive that could justify such aggression. This occurs sometimes between individuals, sometimes between groups. and sometimes between entire clans for extended periods. There is nothing within our own concepts that can explain such absurd behavior. For all these reasons then, we have reached the definitive conclusion that the smooth-skinned bipeds are not rational beings, that intelligence has not yet developed on planet Earth, and that it will still take many cosmological ages to emerge. Therefore, it is pointless to speak of cultural contact with the beings that currently inhabit Earth. Our mission is complete.